This is a country built on one of the strangest contradictions on Earth. On one side, glaciers, endless snow, frozen peaks. On the other, boiling lava, erupting geysers, steam rising straight out of the ground. Locals call it the land of fire and ice. But here's what's really strange. Even today, more than half the population believes elves might actually exist, and some roads have literally been rerouted so as not to disturb them. This is Iceland, and today we're uncovering its strangest secrets. Iceland sits in the far north of the Atlantic, and its geography is built on one of the rarest phenomena on the planet. This island sits directly on the boundary between two tectonic plates, the Eurasian and North American plates. Every year, those two plates drift about 2 centimeters further apart, which means Iceland is quite literally slowly splitting in two. That same tectonic activity is why the island is home to more than 130 volcanoes, over 30 of them still active today. This is one of the most geologically active places on the planet, and locals have grown so used to it that a volcanic eruption here isn't treated as a disaster. It's just part of life. Iceland's history begins in the year 874, when Norwegian Vikings first set foot on the island. According to legend, the first settler, Ingolfur Arnarson, threw his sacred high seat pillars into the sea and vowed to build his home wherever they washed ashore. 3 years later, he found them at a bay he named Reykjavik, meaning Smoky Bay, because steam rising from the hot springs nearby looked like smoke in the distance. Today, Reykjavik holds the title of the world's northernmost capital of a sovereign nation. And here's a fact most people get wrong. Many assume Columbus was the first European to reach the Americas, but an Icelandic Viking, Leif Erikson, reached the shores of North America around the year 1000, a full 500 years before Columbus ever set sail. Today, Iceland is home to just 397,000 people, fewer than a single district in many major cities. 2/3 of them live in and around Reykjavik, while the rest of the country remains nearly empty. Nothing but volcanoes, glaciers, and endless open land. That isolation has led to some strange outcomes. Iceland has no native reptiles, no amphibians, and not a single mosquito. One of very few countries on Earth that can say that. Its only native land mammal is the Arctic fox. Every other animal you see here was brought in by humans much later on. And here's that strange fact we opened with: the elves. In Iceland, belief in the Huldufolk, or hidden people, is still remarkably alive. Surveys show that 8% of the population fully believes elves exist, while another 54% say they simply can't rule it out. This isn't just folklore. It has real, practical consequences. Road construction plans have been altered to avoid disturbing rock formations believed to be elf dwellings. Engineers and construction companies take this seriously because local public pressure around it can be surprisingly strong. But Iceland's most practical and arguably most impressive feature is its energy system. Nearly 100% of the country's electricity comes from renewable sources, hydropower and geothermal energy. 90% of homes are heated directly by hot water pulled straight from underground. That means almost every town in Iceland has its own naturally heated swimming pool, and people swim outdoors even when it's minus 10 degrees, a tradition that dates all the way back to the Viking Age. The most famous example is the Blue Lagoon. Most people assume it's a natural wonder, but it's actually man-made, formed from the runoff of a nearby geothermal power plant. Even so, the water remains rich in minerals and genuinely soothing to the skin. Geothermal energy even powers agriculture. Icelanders grow bananas, tomatoes, and cucumbers in greenhouses heated entirely by underground heat, despite sitting just south of the Arctic Circle. Here's another fact most people don't know. Strong beer was actually banned in Iceland until 1989, even though other alcohol had been legal for decades. The day the ban was lifted is still celebrated every year as Beer Day. And then there's the naming system. Most Icelanders don't use inherited family surnames. Instead, their last name comes directly from their father's first name. So the son of John becomes Jonsson. That's why the phone book here isn't organized by last name, but by first name, because surnames repeat constantly, while first names carry far more variety. Iceland is home to Vatnajökull, the largest glacier in Europe, covering roughly 8% of the entire country. Hidden beneath that enormous ice cap is something unexpected: several active volcanoes, creating a rare natural phenomenon known as fire beneath the ice. Iceland is also home to thousands of waterfalls, including Dettifoss, the most powerful waterfall in Europe, pushing out more than 200 cubic meters of water every single second. And Iceland's most sought-after sight is the Aurora Borealis. the northern lights, painting the winter sky in shades of green and violet. But summer flips everything on its head. In June, the sun barely sets at all, a period known as the midnight sun, when the sky stays bright even in the middle of the night.
Where the fire sleeps beneath the snow, and the old gods still seem to know. Every stone here holds a name, born from ice and born from flame. This is the land between the fire and ice, where the north wind sings and the elves hide twice. Some say it's myth, some say it's true. Iceland keeps its secrets from me and you. Vikings came with nothing but the sea, found a home where none should be. Now the glaciers watch it all, steady, silent, standing tall. This is the